Hello, happy Monday. I'm Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Riser Fall to talk about Monday Night Football. The Rams head to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. Massive playoff implications in this one. A divisional game, NFC West. Let's talk about it. Hello, and we are back once again. Thanks for being here. I'm Chris Robin, aka at Detroit Beastie, here with Team Riser Fall to talk about Monday Night Football. What a fantastic game we have here. The Los Angeles Rams head to Arizona to take on the Cardinals. NFC, a clash of two teams in the NFC West. As it stands now, number 1 and 2 in that division. Arizona, 10 and 2, firmly in first place. As it stands now, the number 1 seed in the NFC playoffs at this moment in time. And the Rams, not too far behind, 8 and 4, second place, only behind the Cardinals, as I've kind of alluded to or just flat out said already in the length of this video. It's only been a minute, but we're packing as much stuff as we can in this one. So before we get to that, just make sure you go to Team Riser Fall. I always mention it. We had Cyber Monday, Black Friday, and the sale is just continuing to flow because it is the holiday season. Look at the graphics. It's all these beautiful trees and presents and stockings. Use promo code NBA and you'll get 33% off your first month of premium memberships as a new member. If you're already there, then you're reaping the benefits. I believe that the Fantasy Cruncher, all that, rolls over. The $20 a month there for FC just rolls over. So it's a sweet spot. For any of you that want to get in on this, again, use promo code NBA. You'll get 33% off. I can't get enough of it. Hopefully nobody gets sick of me always talking about it. Every video, most every tweet, it's always Team Riser Fall this, Discord that. And look, I mean, when you feel so strongly about something, why not kind of just let it all out and get it off your chest? Because you want more people to come in because we're sharing the Comma Club. Almost every night, people are hitting $1,000+ share. I'm, again, not saying that's guaranteed here, but likely if you're here with all the goodies, the ownership percentages, and the study hub. So enough with that. Let's talk about Monday Night Football. That's why we're here. It only took me 2 minutes this time around to get to the actual game here. So as we already know, the Rams go to Arizona. Over-under is at around 51 total points here. I think that's a good bet, the over here. And obviously, when we get to the end of the video, I give you my final score and everything. So Arizona's in first place. The Rams are in second place. I need to quit, belaboring that point here. But this one's going to be fantastic. And look, here's the thing. In all these videos, and even, during the day, especially on Sunday, or any day there's a single game slate, right? Monday Night Football, Thursday Night Football. And today, I always feel like you need to have, not an edge per se, but I always like to come up with a plan of attack, right? Single game, thousands, probably millions of people are going to play these games. So I always feel, not pressure, but I feel like, in my head, with all my notes, I'm normally good, quick on the fly to come up with some sort of actionable content here where there's a plan in place. Like yesterday, I thought the Green Bay Packers were going to win, but I thought it was just, they were going to get out quick and Chicago was going to be scrambling in the second half or the fourth quarter. And it looked good on paper. The bets that I gave out to you, they all hit, the over and taking the Packers. But what I'm getting at is here with this game, I have no real plan of attack here. Normally it's like, well, I want to attack, or excuse me, I want to use the Arizona running backs and then the Rams wide receivers. I don't have nothing like that in this one. And I've come to the conclusion that's okay. Some games they're all different, right? Every single game is different than the last one. And just because I don't have a plan doesn't mean that it's going to be a failure today. Just looking at it, the Rams and Arizona, just two very good teams on a collision course for the NFC playoffs here. Might be on a collision course for the NFC championship game. We just don't know how it's going to shake out. So I guess what I'm trying to say here, although boring, it's kind of like a best available player here. Obviously, Matthew Stafford, let's just dig in from a positional standpoint, and then we can kind of get it all together at the end of the broadcast here. So Stafford at Arizona. Arizona's also awesome. They're third overall against defending opposing quarterbacks. Stafford 15-5 on FanDuel, $10,400 on DraftKings. I have Stafford, you're looking at 24-25 completions. I think 300 passing yards is a lock. I mean, not too much is a lock, but look at the game and the offense and the defense here. So give me Stafford with about 300 passing yards here, and I do believe he has the ability to maybe get to 3 touchdowns. Again, I think the Rams score 3 or 4 touchdowns, but how many of those are a direct action of Stafford's arm here? So again, Stafford 300 yards, 2, maybe 3 touchdown passes here. And we look at Kyler Murray. This kid, when he's better, obviously Arizona is a better team. That goes without saying. But when Kyler Murray is active and doing his thing, the NFL is just a better place, right? He's just so good and elusive. And the way I'll leave it at that. I'm not a professional scout, so take what I say with a grain of salt. Kyler Murray, $17,000 on FanDuel, $11,200 on DraftKings. And again, Rams, the top 10. They're actually 7th against opposing quarterbacks here. So Kyler Murray, looking at 23, maybe 24 completions, 250 passing yards. But why we love Kyler is he racks up the yardage on the ground with his legs. Hopefully he's gotten over the hump that kept him out the last few weeks here. So I have Kyler Murray, 7-8 carries, looking at another 25 to 30 yards, and I think he finds the end zone on the ground in addition to 2 passing touchdowns. So again, what I'm getting at here, I have Stafford for 3 touchdowns. I have Kyler Murray for 3 touchdowns. So there's really no advantage to be gained one way or another. So I always like to say, well, I'll fade this guy. I'll fade both quarterbacks. And with Stafford and Kyler Murray, you can't fade either one of them. So it's up to you when you build your line tonight. Make a Matthew Stafford line. Make a Kyler Murray line. And we move on from there. When we talk about the running backs, Darrell Henderson is going to be inactive, unfortunately. So the masses will flock to Sony Michel, Rams at Arizona. Arizona 16th overall against opposing running backs. Again, in terms of DVP or price tag, I just don't think it matters tonight for Sony Michel. He is going to be, maybe aside from Cooper Kupp, the most highly owned guy here tonight, and that's okay. $12,000 on FanDuel, $7,200 on DraftKings. Very healthy workload. Looking at maybe 15 or 16 carries, 70 to 75 yards, and a couple receptions. Nothing crazy for an additional 20 or 25 yards here. And that's about it in terms of the Rams running backs. Who are we going to talk about? Mekhi Sargent, $6,000 on FanDuel, only $600 on DraftKings. If you're in a multi-entry GPP against 100,000 other folks, maybe you look at Sargent here. I have him for around 4 or 5 carries, 20, maybe 25 yards, and a couple receptions, no more than like 10 or 12 yards in this one. So we go on to the Arizona Cardinals running backs, James Conner. Him and Sony Michel, they have to be a lock in our lines today because, again, Chase Edmonds, Eno Benjamin, we can't trust that Chase Edmonds is going to play tonight. So you can just knock off two boxes on your checklist here. Sony Michel and James Conner, who is $13,500 on FanDuel, only $9,800 on DraftKings. Conner, 15 carries. He's been a real workhorse. He's been a stud for us lately. As I was saying, $9,800 on DraftKings. Looking at 15 carries, 50-60 yards, a couple receptions, another 20 yards. So to me, we just have to have Sony Michel and James Conner in our lineups if we want to make any headway in some multi-entry GPP or even a single entry. Let's talk about the wide receivers. It's all about Cooper Kupp. This whole season has been about Cooper Kupp. $15,000 on FanDuel. That's expensive. Cooper Kupp is priced $500 cheaper than Matthew Stafford. So how often do we see a wide receiver just as highly priced as the starting quarterback in this game? It just goes to show you. Guys on a heater, right? Cooper Kupp, $15,000 on FanDuel, $12,000 on DraftKings. Realistically, you're looking at 12, 13 targets, 8, 9 receptions, well over 100 yards and a touchdown. So if you're paying attention at home, Sony Michel, James Conner, and Cooper Kupp, that's my player pool. It's only 3 players, and that's who I'm rolling with. Van Jefferson makes for a nice little, I don't want to say pivot because he's $11,000 on FanDuel, $8,000 on DraftKings, 7, 8 targets, 4 or 5 receptions, 65 to 75 yards in this one. Odell Beckham Jr., let's see if he can kind of, keep what momentum he has going over. ODB, $10,000 on FanDuel, $6,200 on DraftKings, 8 targets, 5, 6 receptions, 60 or 65 yards here. So when we start building, we're going to come to a crossroads here. Sony Michel, James Conner, Cooper Kupp, and then you're going to have to differentiate. Do I want Van? Do I want Odell Beckham? Well, hey, as I said in the beginning of the video, let's map this out, write everything down. This line is going to be Stafford and Van Jefferson. This line is going to be Kyler Murray and Odell Beckham, however you want to do it. So everything I do, I write down. It helps me. If it's not for you, fine, you can make a Google document or a WordPress or however the heck you want to do it. And then we go down. Deandre Hopkins, $12,500 on FanDuel, 9.6 on DraftKings. Hopefully this guy plays 7 targets, 5 receptions, 65 or 70 yards here. Christian Kirk, 10.5 on FanDuel, $5,600 on DraftKings, 5 targets, 3-4 receptions, 45 or 50 yards. But to me, I can't get out of this game without getting Rondale Moore in my lineup. The rookie hasn't been, outstanding, but he's doing just enough to warrant our attention here. Rondale Moore, $7,500 on FanDuel, only $2,000 on DraftKings. 4 or 5 targets, 3-4 receptions, 30-40 yards. So you're seeing a trend here. And even looking at AJ Green, $9,000 on FanDuel, $4,800 on DraftKings. It's all the same. You look at Christian Kirk, Rondale Moore, AJ Green, Odell Beckham, Van Jefferson. I hate to sound like a broken record, but it's kind of like I'm thinking, Chris, what do you do? This video is useless. You're saying the same thing over and over again for just about every wide receiver out there. That's what I'm getting at when I say, not that I can't get a pulse on this game, but it's just so there's no one way or a heavy lean here I have in this one. So unfortunately, I'm not saying this video is all for naught, but I can only give you what I feel, in here and with my notes, and you're going to have to make your own decisions here because I can't tell you one way or another. This guy needs to be our captain. This guy needs to be kind of our punt play here. I'm just not feeling any of that from this game. So we move on. Tyler Higbee or Zach Ertz. You're looking at Higbee, $7,500 on FanDuel. DraftKings, $5,000. Again, 5, maybe 6 targets, 4 or 5 receptions, 40 or 50 yards. With Ertz, just 4 targets, 3-4 receptions, 35 or 40 yards. And that's what I'm looking at this evening. As I said, I think it's a case here, and it would help you. It's helped me start with both running backs and branch out that way. Literally, you ever written a paper in college or school where you do the outline bubbles, where you put the bubble at the top? We'll put 2 bubbles at the top. One with James Conner, one with Sony Michel. We draw lines, and then we start connecting dots that way. One side will be Van Jefferson and Rondale Moore. The other side would be Odell Beckham and Christian Kirk, and we move on from there. So I wish you the best in terms of kickers and DSTs. You're well suited to not figure out, but do that on your own as you're drawing your outlines here. Of the 2, I would prefer Matt Prater, but it's close. I have him 3 for 3 extra points. I have Matt Gay, same thing, 3 for 3 extra points. I have Matt Gay missing a field goal. I have Matt Prater going 2 for 2 with his field goals. So it's a difference of a field goal. And then when we look at the DSTs here, Rams or Cardinals, both, Rams $3,600, Cardinals $3,200. Of the 2, I would prefer the Rams because my final score, I have the Rams winning this one on the road, 30 or 31 to 24 here. Going to be a good game. Dara, I don't want to say a shootout here, but it's going to be all action. And there's no harm in, I know I probably shouldn't say this given the fact that I write full-time DFS, and I do the videos, and I write all the content here. So what kind of weirdo would I be to say, it's okay if this game is just like, if it gets overwhelming, right, in the lead up to kickoff, if it's overwhelming and you're like, I just can't figure it out. Most of these games, it's like a Rubik's Cube, you move it around and we have a clear-cut direction. I'm just not seeing that tonight. So if you want to take it easy and just watch the game, don't always have to play every game. Sit back, rest, enjoy, and we'll look ahead till Thursday. If not, can always send me a DM, can always message me. I'm always there. And before I split, make sure you go to Team Rise or Fall, use promo code NBA. You'll get 33% off. And that is it. So thank you for being here, and let's meet again the same time Thursday. Until then, I'll see you later. Bye.